Greetings, Space Cadets! I'm Allie Keeves, and this week I watched a terrifying thriller about a cat that narrowly escapes the clutches of a ravenous extraterrestrial. Not that one. There it is. This is The Geek Awakens.
This episode of The Geek Awakens is presented by Ecto Cooler and Coca-Cola Journey.
So today I'm gonna watch Alien, and I have to be honest with you, I don't like scary movies, so I'm not sure how this is gonna go. Alien put director Ridley Scott on the map. And while I watched Blade Runner for this very show, the first Ridley Scott movie I ever saw was called White Squall. It's about a teacher who takes troubled kids sailing to teach them about life. Basically, it's Dead Poet Society on a boat. Alien also takes place on a ship, but instead of Jeff Bridges, it has a terrifying alien. If this is how you have to sleep in space, count me out. Starts out pretty chill. Everyone's sleeping in their Lady Gaga eggs, the music's real peaceful. Maybe this won't be so bad. Also, this movie has everyone. Sigourney Weaver, John Hurt, Bilbo Baggins, and Tom Skerritt, who I love from Steel Magnolias. It's really fun to play 6 Degrees of Steel Magnolias until you realize that there were only like 10 movie stars in the entire 80s. Anyway, they check out a distress call and bad stuff goes down. The poor guy survives getting his face eaten, only to end up like this.
Oh, God.
I watched Spaceballs like a million times as a kid, but I clearly had no idea what it was referencing. I also realized that the dancing alien is a reference to the frog from Looney Tunes, which I've also never seen.
Wow.
I've seen Tiny Toons. Does that help?
Not really.
An alien just popped out of another crewman's chest, and this is the best face that Bilbo can give. Everyone was concerned for about 20 seconds, and no one thought to go find the alien? This should work itself out. They do go look for the missing cat. The cat leads him into a death trap and then just sits there. He doesn't even help. Granted, what's a cat gonna do? But at least you could look concerned.
You got a better idea?
Yes. I said that we abandoned the ship.
Yes, abandon the ship.
The shuttle won't take 4.
You built a ship that doesn't even have enough lifeboats for half the passengers. That would never happen in real life. Bilbo's a robot? But he seems so nice in all those other scenes.
Previously on The Geek Awakens.
An alien just popped out of another crewman's chest, and this is the best face that Bilbo can give. Oh yeah, that makes more sense now. I love that Ripley is such a badass. From minute 1, she's dropping F-bombs, she's keeping up with the guys. But of course, at the end, they have to show her in her underwear. I get that it's supposed to symbolize her ultimate vulnerability, especially considering that the alien is in. But couldn't she have worn some yoga pants or something? All told, I really enjoyed this one. It takes its time to build the tension and doesn't rely on jump scares like so many other horror movies. For me, it's more of a thriller than a horror flick. Now I totally want to watch the sequels. Aliens, Alien Cubed. Also, that's probably the first time I've said cubed since middle school, so I've got that going for me. In conclusion, I would never survive in space. All of this sci-fi reminds me that space is a cold, dangerous place full of aliens, and no one should ever want to go there. Except Lance Bass. He really wants to go there. I wish that was photoshopped. I feel like Alien would have been a totally different movie with Lance Bass on the ship. Especially that underwear scene. If you want to watch more geeky movies with me, let's Netflix and chill down in the comments. What should I watch next? If you like this video, you know, hit the like button. And be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode of The Geek Awakens. I'm Allie Keeves, and I'll see you next time. John Hurt, Bilbo Bag.
Yeah, that's it. See why it's funny?
Yeah.